Hey guys, welcome to the Withering effect. This is episode 20 and today is 29th of October. And I'm Bankaadappel, or everyone just calls me Bank.
And I am Duds, or Duds Versus, and today we're going to talk about some Minecraft and laughed at Bank for messing up the intro for the umpteenth time. What have you been up to,
Hey, it's a
Bank?
new intro, we get it. Yeah. Well, we wrote a new intro.
Yeah, we did. Well, you wrote a new intro, and I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, no, we're gonna mess it up a few times.
Yep.
Alright, what did I do this week? I did a bit of Minecraft. I continued on the farm I built in my episode.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't record anything, I just kinda enjoyed building a bit.
Yeah.
And I watched a lot of Merlin, because I was a bit ill, so I just wanted to lay back and watch some stuff.
Mm-hmm. How are you enjoying
It's actually the second time I'm watching the series. I watched it like a long time ago already.
Mm-hmm.
I think when it was released.
Yeah,
and I saw it was on Netflix now.
It's pretty old.
I really enjoy it.
But that's good.
It's I forgot most of it, so it's pretty new.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you know like the main things, but yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
What have you been up to?
Well, we had streams, which went really well. I ended up posting a picture on Reddit of the finished product of the stream. And it was sort of a podcast episode as well, or a podcast stream as well, right? Kind of how I want to test the water. So we did a test episode where we just kind of randomly talked about stupid stuff on a slow Minecraft week. And I'd like to kind of turn my live streams into those kind of podcasts to see how you guys like them. But the best part about the live streaming is because I'm on Mixer and there's like a 0 delay. Like, if you're watching the live stream, you can participate, which is super awesome because I get feedback immediately. And we had like a 3-hour conversation about random stuff, which was great. Yeah. I ended up decorating that entire side of the base between the actual base and the market garden area. So...
yeah, that was a really nice stream to talk a lot, because it was we just placed a bunch of flowers and all that, which I guess in itself is not that interesting.
Yeah, it wasn't more about watching me build something, but just kind of chilling and hanging out, and then at the very end, you're just like, whoa, okay, that transformed that entire area.
Yeah, I didn't even notice we did so much, but when you look back, we did quite a lot in the stream.
Yeah, it's like, when you're up like just close on it, it's like, okay, well, that's a random cobblestone. Why is that there? And then you take about a 50 block step back, and you're like, whoa. Like Keanu Reeves, whoa.
Nice.
Yeah, other than that, I've done about the same thing, kind of watching Netflix. I got onto that new show, Daybreak, which is like an apocalyptic show. I said that wrong, but I'm not going to try to re-say. Never mind. Apocalyptic. There we go.
Yeah, like the world's ending.
Yeah.
Or the world ended kind of.
Yeah, it was really good. Like, I got really hooked on it, but like literally the last 30 seconds, they try to put a twist in there, and I went, well, that kind of made me feel like the entire first season was for nothing.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was one of those. And I don't want to say it in case people want to watch it, because literally the entire season was really pretty good. I love the storytelling. I like how they used flashbacks. It didn't feel like it was just slapping you in the face with this other stuff. And holy cow, computer just made a bunch of noise. I don't know if it got picked up, but my ears just blew out. Anyways.
I didn't hear anything, so it sounds good, I guess.
Okay, but yeah. I mean, just amazing storytelling, and at the very end, they're like, oh, they won't see this coming, and then you can kind of feel it coming, and then you're just like, why'd you do that? I get you're trying to set up a season 2, but you basically ruined season 1 for me, so it's just like, and I had stayed up late to watch it. Everyone knows my insomnia, and I fed into the insomnia. Like, I finished the season at 1:30 in the morning last night. And then I'm just like...
oh, that's late for you, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, now I can't go to bed happy.
Which means probably not going to bed at all.
I went to bed at 3:45 this morning.
Oh, wow.
Woke up at 6:30. Well, it was really like 7 o'clock. But, yeah. So that's how that went. I've been working on the book project. I've got like a whole nother chunk of timeline filled out for one of the sides. So I was pretty excited about, like, it's getting close to the point where I'm going to be starting to write scenes and sections and stuff like that. So,
ooh, cool.
Yeah, actual writing getting done. I'm pretty excited.
Getting to the actual writing part, yeah.
Yeah, well, one of the timelines is a super simple timeline. I don't have to world build, which is really nice, and that's the one I'm getting close to finishing on. So that's the one I'm probably going to start writing early. So fingers crossed, I might leak a couple segments to you guys and let you read it, depending on if anyone's interested in it.
Exciting times.
Mm-hmm. But what about the news? Do we got any news today?
No, there's nothing really to see in the news section.
What about Minecraft Earth coming out to Sweden, Mexico, Australia, New Zealand, and Iceland?
Well, that's true, I guess.
Other than that,
didn't most of them already have it, though?
I have no idea. I know Sweden was one of those like beta test areas.
I thought Mexico as well.
I don't know.
I guess they just expanded into more, more areas?
I'm not sure. Like, Minecraft Earth's one of those things that I'm just kind of like, yeah, okay, I will probably maybe spend 5 minutes on it, but it doesn't excite me at all. So
I'm just really curious. I kind of want to see and look around in it, and then and see what it's about. Yeah. But I got the feeling it won't be that interesting for me either.
Well, my biggest worry is, so like, for some reason, so I can be on cars, boats, or airplanes, and I am perfectly fine. But Minecraft makes me motion sick.
Yeah.
So the thought of playing Minecraft while looking through my phone onto a desk surface or something like that is... I'm just waiting for an upset stomach. So Minecraft Earth's not really exciting me. I'm waiting for dungeons. I really want to play some dungeons. I think that's going to be a fun stream game.
Yeah, I think, like you said, that's going to be a fun stream game as well. I think I'll put a lot more time probably in Dungeons as well than I do in Earth.
Yeah.
I mean, in the end, Minecraft Earth is going to be just another version of Minecraft, I guess. Mm-hmm. You can build some stuff, which we can already do in Java and all.
Yeah, from the leaked pictures, one of our Ripple members, Winter, has been posting some pictures from it.
Yeah, I saw those as well.
Yeah, it really looks like Pokemon Go for some of the stuff.
Well, that's how it works, right? You go to the world, and then you click, like, chests and all that. That's how you collect your blocks and all. Mm-hmm. And then you can build with those.
The one thing I do say I like seeing is if you're traveling too fast, basically the game disables itself.
So you can't go drive in the car and play the game while driving.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's a clever solution.
Yeah, I saw a picture of somebody posting it in the Spongchunks Discord. And it goes, "Are you the driver?" So you can kind of hit no, I guess, and still play it. But I like that they're at least putting some effort into that.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of a problem over here, at least. I see a lot of people driving while staring in their phone.
Oh, it's a huge problem here.
Scares me a lot, to be honest.
Ooh, I have a great rant. All right, I'm sorry, guys. I'm pushing Minecraft back again, but you guys might like this story. So, talking on your phone or texting on your phone while driving is a huge pet peeve of mine. Like, my old Mustang, before I got the new one, didn't have Bluetooth or anything like that. So, I paid to upgrade the radio to get Bluetooth, so I didn't have to worry about talking on the cell phone while driving. I can just talk normally and the car would do everything for me. So now that it's standard in most every car now, I got super excited and all that stuff. Anyways, I get on a road and I'm stuck behind this guy who's speeding up, slowing down, speeding up, slowing down, and he's veering left and right in his lane. And I'm going, what the heck is this guy doing? Is he been drinking or something? And I look over, and every time he like slows down and veers in his lane, he brings his cell phone up to eye level, essentially like cutting off the entire right side of his windshield because he's staring at the phone on that side.
Oh boy.
And it's obviously affecting his driving, which is affecting my attitude, making me angry because I am an impatient driver. I shouldn't say that. If you do the speed limit and you drive like a courteous person, don't stay in the left lane 5 miles an hour under the speed limit for no reason when you can get into the right lane.
That's what it turned to over here. Like, the left lane is the slow lane and the right lane is the fast lane now.
Right.
Because everybody just drives left.
Yeah.
While staring at their phone.
To me, it's like drive predictably, and I don't have a problem with it. I understand if there's like a lot of traffic and we slow down, that's not a big deal. But when you're causing the traffic slow down, it's a big deal.
I feel like I'm like you. I mean, I don't mind. Like, obviously, the traffic's driving, so if it's slow traffic, you're gonna be slow. What can you do?
Right.
It's the people that are not social towards others. Like, oh, I'm the only one in the world, so I'm just doing this. And then I get annoyed. Like, you could just move over for a bit and let other people pass, right?
Exactly.
You don't have to...
Anyway, so back to this guy
on
his cell phone. Texting while driving, because I can literally see the little chat bubbles. I'm on his rear end so hard.
Oh boy.
So my new game was every time I saw his cell phone come up, which is about 1 in every 30 seconds, I wail on the horn until I see him put the cell phone down.
I was just about to ask, didn't you start honking? Because that was what I would do.
Yeah, so it takes about 7 or 8 times before he realizes what I'm doing. And then he decides to give me the middle finger and then go 20 miles an hour faster than the speed limit down the road.
Oh, well, at least he's speeding.
Absolutely. Well, he goes from not being able to keep a consistent speed and staying in the center of the lane to basically doubling the speed limit, flying down this one-lane road. It's like, dude, what are you doing? You're literally the world's worst driving. They make videos about what not to do from you.
Yep. It's... I can talk about this for a while as well.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, like, talking on the phone, it's not right, because obviously you're losing a hand. But I don't mind that nearly as much as texting.
Yeah. Well, for me...
Because obviously when you're texting, you're not looking at the road. When you're just talking, you at least can still pay attention to, like, what's going on, right?
Well, I mean, there's so... One, to not put your phone on speaker while driving if you have to talk. If you don't have Bluetooth, put it on speaker, because then you can at least set your phone down and use both your hands. Two, for... I don't know, since I was 18 years old, which is... half my age now, you've been able to buy like $25, $40 Bluetooth dongles that will turn your car into the Bluetooth thing for your phone where you don't have to press any buttons. So it's almost not an excuse. And two, if you bought any car past the year like 2014, it's standard in your car. So if you don't hook your Bluetooth up to your phone in your car, I just want to slap you.
Well, we don't have Bluetooth in our car. Me and my girlfriend both got a new phone. And with that phone came like earplugs with a microphone thingy attached to it. So we just put one of those in the car. And then, you just plug that in. And you can just talk without any problems. I mean, you're provided as you get the phone, basically, with a means to not have to hold it.
Yeah, but that's my car rant for the day. Hope you guys enjoyed. Call me bad words in the Discord. Speaking of which, we have a Discord. You like that segment?
Nice transition.
It's a great place to hang out with fellow words. Holy cow.
Wow.
Words are so hard when you try to read them from a script.
Like that new intro just screwed everything up.
Yeah, it's a great place to hang out with oh my god, I messed up. Fellow Withering Effect members and ask people who work on the episode's questions. Carl, we need a rewrite, man. That was so hard.
Oh, awesome job.
Oh, we're going to be giggling the entire podcast now.
We will now, yeah, for sure. So to summarize that, join the Discord if you want to talk to us.
Join Discord. Links are in the, whatever the heck that is.
The show notes.
Show notes, description, same thing.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man. Okay, should we get on to the main topic?
Yeah, let's go on to the main topic.
Okay, so
we already sort of sneak peeked that in the Discord.
Yeah, so we've started this new thing in the Discord where we ask you guys, like, we'll come up with a topic over the weekend, and then on Mondays we'll ask you guys about the topics to give everyone a chance to respond, and then see who lines up kind of with we do. And this week was improving food and inventory and stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and read the first comment for what you called making food great again.
I just typed something down. Don't.
And this is, we had a lot of people saying a lot of the same things, so we weren't going to read it all together. But like C3PO and Carl both made mention that they want more craftable foods, like maybe a rotten meat sandwich. Give a use for the rotten meat you get from zombies.
Mm-hmm.
Fish, kelp, rice could make sushi. Berries, honey to make jam. Cocoa beans and milk to make coffee. To me, coffee shouldn't be craftable. Like, it should be brewed in the brewing stand.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, good point.
Well, and
maybe you could use that to make tea or something as well.
Yeah, well, and the next thing they mentioned about coffee was coffee with a haste effect or a slow effect. So, like, maybe it gives you a speed boost, but then also gives you what's that thing with not the anvil, but the chain and ball that slows you down?
I think that's just called slow. I think what C3PO suggested was give it a haste effect, and then when it wears out, you get a small slow effect for a while.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Which I think should then work also with like any sugary things, right? If you eat a cake, I mean you'll get a sugar rush and then get the sugar crash.
Yeah. They also mentioned that using the cauldron as a cooking pot to do some of these recipes would be good use. 100% agree with that. The cauldron needs more uses. For right now, I know you can, undye banners or stuff like that with it.
I think it also collects, like, rainwater, doesn't it?
Oh, I don't know.
Very slowly.
We're going to have to try that on the live streams at some point. Minecraft Science.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that could be a fun live stream.
Yeah, we just keep going back and staring at this pot. Yeah, guys, that's how fun our live streams are. No, if you guys
hoping for rain, do like a rain dance.
Yeah, if you missed last live stream, you can rewatch it on Mixer if you want to see the chat, or if you just want to hear us talk. I always repost the live stream on Saturday following the Friday night live streams.
Yeah, and you're good at posting them as well nowadays.
Yeah, well, a lot of people were saying, "Hey, we want to watch it, but we're not around for the live stream," so I figured posting it to YouTube would be better. But after Friday's live stream, like before I could even get it posted to YouTube, which literally I wake up Friday or Saturday morning, download Friday night's live stream, and post it to YouTube. Now, granted, it takes till about after lunch because it's almost a 4-hour long video.
Mm-hmm.
But like before I could even download it, Saturday morning, I wake up and there's 22 views on Mixer from it. It's like, okay.
So within 10 hours?
Yeah. People couldn't wait. GG.
Yeah, pretty nice.
This is a very good live stream. But that's pretty much it for C3PO and Carl. I agree with a lot of their ideas.
I mean, a few others suggested some recipes as well.
Yeah.
But it all came sort of down to the same thing, just add more recipes. Opni kind of suggested a little bit more, which I agree with. Mm-hmm. But he said, new foods are interesting, but without any new mechanics, it's just kind of wasted to add a bunch of foods.
Agreed.
Which I agree on. He suggests maybe having some meal foods and some snack foods.
Mm-hmm.
You have to eat a meal a day, and then in between you can just eat snack foods. And then, for example, if you... each day you would get a negative effect, maybe you walk slower. I think he called it a malnourished effect.
Uh-huh.
And then, you have to eat a meal to sort of counter that effect. And then you have snacks, which would be the food as we know it already. So just to sort of fill your hunger bar. I think that could be an interesting mechanic. Something like that.
I agree and disagree at the same time.
Okay.
I like the idea of bettering the mechanic. I think there already is a kind of meal and snack food in the game. I mean, you look at steak and then you look at cookies.
Yeah.
So to
Fair
me,
point.
it's already in the game. So he's right in the fact that it would be easy to kind of implement this. But at the same time, a Minecraft day is what, 10 minutes?
Yeah.
So 10 minutes, you now have to have 2 different kinds of foods, really. So.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, maybe every day is a bit too much.
Yeah, because then at that point, I'm just keeping full meals in my inventory. And if those can't stack, now it's like, this is why people don't use stews and mushroom soup and stuff. I like the idea, but I don't think it would be implemented right.
Well, he did say he sort of came up with it as he typed it, so it's obviously got some downsides, but I think he's on the right track, like adding something to it.
Right. And this is where I go back to honey being kind of a lost feature in the fact that, okay, we'll use honey and chicken to craft a new recipe, and now you get the same food effect of eating chicken, but the honey adds saturation. So instead of it being an easy meal, it's now what Omni would call a full meal. So maybe a honey chicken gives you the same effect as a steak instead of a chicken, which is less than steak in food and saturation, is now just behind in food, but it gives you the same saturation. I don't know. Something like that is where I would probably more lean to. Let us play with the saturation levels.
I think they could be interesting. Maybe bring them up a bit more as well, because saturation is kind of sort of a hidden stat now, I guess. You can't see how much it is. Foods don't really tell how it. I mean, you gotta read up on the Minecraft wiki or whatever to even know about it. I guess they could play with it a bit more if they bring it more to the foreground. Maybe add a little bar for it or something. Yeah. Or just make the what is it? Those little hams that you have as the food indicators. Maybe they can vanish a bit. Like the more bright they are, the fuller your saturation is.
True. I mean, me and you talked about, you have a note for this, that changing the cooking system or creating a cooking system. I agree with you on that. I won't talk about your game. I'll talk about Breath of the Wild's cooking system, because there's a tiny bit of randomization in there, and there's so many things you can try where you just throw a bunch of ingredients in there and create several different things, which I absolutely love. The worst part is it doesn't stack in Breath of the Wild system. I don't know how hard it would be to do that, and if you have different varying levels of saturation and food quality, could you really stack that on there? So it kind of makes it worthless. But the idea of, well, I have a bunch of random things, let me try throwing it together in a cooking pot or a cauldron and see what kind of meal I can get, to me is a really cool idea, and seems like it would be perfect for Minecraft.
Yeah, it sounds like a real Minecrafty thing. It's actually close to what I had in mind, because I had the same idea as Albany. I think we just need a new system. It's too basic now. You don't want it too too elaborate, because that's gonna be in the way and people won't like that. But I think now it's too simple and a lot of foods aren't being used. And then I started thinking about what could work, and I thought about the game Don't Starve. I don't know how well people know the game, but I think that they have a really cool cooking system, which I think would work awesome in Minecraft, with obviously some tweaks, because the games work slightly different.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know the game at all, so describe how the cooking system works there.
Yeah, so they have meats and they have vegetables, sort of like we have in Minecraft, and they got some other stuff, and they have some different ways of preparing the food. So they have a crock pot, which is the main sort of cooking thing. And you can put 4 items in the crock pot, and combinations of items will go towards a recipe. And then how to figure out a recipe is you have, for example, rabbit meat. I think they call it a morsel, and that would have half a meat value. And then a steak would have 1 meat value. And then the recipes work by, you gotta have 1 meat, 2 vegetable, and they also have a filler, for example, which could be a stick or a seed or some other stuff, like small foods. And then the combination of like 1 meat and 2 vegetables that would make, well, I'm just saying something, but I don't know, a meat pie or a stew or something. And then they have like special recipes. Like if you have, they have a thing called a dragon fruit. I think it's a real fruit as well, actually.
Yeah.
Which is like really strong for healing. And then as soon as you add a dragon fruit to like any recipe, it makes like a dragon fruit pie or something. Or if you add ice and a stick and a watermelon, you get like an icicle. And obviously that's to counter the heat, but I like their idea of like, oh, if you add an ice, the ice will get a special effect. But in general, I think working with like any sort of value kind of thing, and then combining the values, that will make the crafting system way more elaborate, because then you wouldn't need carrots for a recipe. You could use carrots or potatoes, or what do we have in Minecraft? Melon.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild does something like that, where you can add like a fish and a bread and something else, and you get this special recipe, and there's a couple hidden recipes that are extremely good for you. Same with like if you add a spicy pepper, it now gives you like heat resistance, or it warms you in the cold or something like that. See, I like that, but at the same time, I think that would affect people using potions. So
yeah, if you add too much effects, it will add to the potions. What I really like about the system, though, is you can just basically wing it.
Yeah,
you can just throw some stuff in the crockpot and see what comes out of it. Obviously, nowadays there's like a whole table of like, if you make this, you'll get that and that out of it, like you would get on the Minecraft wiki. But I think the whole idea of being able to just play around and not having specific items, but just being able to play around with it a little bit, I think something like that would make cooking really interesting in Minecraft.
I agree.
And obviously it would need some tweaks to make it fit more towards Minecraft, and I don't know. But I think in general they could learn a lot from maybe that game.
100%. We're not game designers in any way, but we know what we like, and we know what might or might not work for us. So maybe give it a try. Listen to us, Mojang. Where's my red dragon?
I mean, I'm pretty sure Mojang knows the game, so...
Yeah, they probably know it better than us, but I go with they design it more than they play it, and we play it a lot.
For anyone, by the way, I highly recommend playing the game. I think it was a lot of fun, if you're a patient person.
He means don't starve, not so much Minecraft.
Yeah. Well, Minecraft as well, but I think everybody already knows Minecraft.
We're assuming if you're listening to this podcast, you're playing Minecraft.
Yeah, I meant don't starve. If you're interested in the game, you might enjoy it. I really enjoy that game.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
So the second part of our topic is inventory. Do you want to go ahead and take the lead on this one?
Well, there was one thing about food that I would like to talk about.
Okay. Back it up.
Yeah, I've noticed in a lot of mods they have a thing, thirst.
Oh, yeah.
I personally never gave it a real thought, so I don't know if I would want thirst or not. It sounds interesting. But when I mentioned this to you, you said you had certain feelings towards that already.
Yeah, they're bad. They're bad feelings.
I figured as much.
They're bad feelings for the same way I kind of disagreed with Omni's meals a day. And the fact that there's only so much time in the Minecraft day, per se, that so giving another thing to worry about might be a little bit of a pain.
It would become too much, I guess. Like there's too much to worry about, basically. Yeah.
But I kind of like the idea of, again, I'm going to keep quoting Breath of the Wild. They have this stamina bar.
Yeah.
That you can use up and it'll recharge instantly, and then use up and recharge instantly. I think that could be a good way to put something like thirst in without forcing you to have to go craft more stuff and carry more stuff in your inventory to deal with a problem. The only thing is we're not having to deal with it now, so to me it would be putting a strain on a player that they're not used to, which is never really good for a game.
It would change probably the game a lot than how it is already. I mean, Minecraft's been this way so long. Maybe it would be strange to start adding something like that.
Yeah, everything we've talked about so far is just kind of adding to the game Kind of like how they did with the crafting tables and stuff. They didn't really take anything away from the main crafting table, but they added all these different things you could use. And that's, to me, the correct way of doing it. Adding thirst or like a stamina bar would be taking away from your natural ability to continue to run all the time. Or now you have to use an inventory slot, which is limited, why we're going to be talking about inventory next, to fill another health bar. Essentially,
I think you're right. Like, I mean, Minecraft, like the way the food's now and a lot of other things in Minecraft, it's so easy that you don't really have to worry about it. Which opens up a lot of other things to do. And for example, if you add thirst or malnourished thingy, that would become something too much, and it would get in the way of the freedom you have in Minecraft now.
Right.
Yeah, I can see that point. I think you're probably right. Like, maybe something like thirst would just be too much.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I was just curious. Like I said, I didn't really think about it, so I thought it could be an interesting conversation. I wasn't really feeling towards a direction.
And it's definitely something to bring up because other games do have thirst built into their games. But
they have it from the start, and I think that's a good point that you brought out as well. Like, Minecraft works this way. And if they're gonna add it now, it's gonna change a lot. Like, they'll have to add a whole system to it. A lot of items. Takes up another inventory slot. Yeah.
Yeah. So, inventory, finally. Let's start with, what does your inventory carry 90% of the time?
Well, obviously I have my tools and my sword. I always carry all tools. I also carry like 2 pickaxes, 1 fortune and 1 silk touch. I always have those in my actual inventory. Well, when I get to the point where I'm like not begin game anymore, right? Like if you only have like iron tools, I'm not gonna carry like everything with me. But at this point in the game, I'm like, I can replace it easy, so I don't mind carrying it. I always carry ender chests. I think those are quite important to have on me. Water bucket. I always like having those. Flint and steel. You never know when it comes in handy.
Okay.
Shield. It's I don't know why I carry a shield. I just kind of like it. I always put my banner thingy on it.
Yeah.
It's sort of a night thing, I guess. It's a way to carry my banner or whatever. What else do I got? I got water walking boots. I always like having those, because that's useful when you're building near water. You can just sort of walk over the water. You don't have to worry about swimming or placing blocks. You can just... I really like having those.
For sure, and
or if you're moving...
You're on a swamp this season, so...
Yeah.
A lot of water you have to mess around with.
Also, when you're moving animals on a lead, it's really nice to have water walking boots.
Very true.
I mean, it's situational, but it's nice to have it when you need it. I obviously carry my armor and elytra.
Yeah.
What else? A shulker box with ender pearls. I always carry that in my inventory.
Oh,
because I use so much ender pearls that I want to be able to. I don't want to have my ender chest out all the time.
Yeah, I mean...
So I just carry a box with them.
I keep a shulker box in the ender chest, so... Yeah, I kind of do the same thing, but you would be faster getting your ender pearls out than me.
Yeah, and since I used to have them in my ender chest, but I had to put my ender chest down too much. So I just put it in my regular inventory.
Yeah. My inventory is a lot like yours, with the fact I have my armor plus... the elytra. Well, the elytra stays on me most of the time, and then I switch the chest plate out. And whenever I switch to the chest plate, I obviously know I'm getting ready to fight something, so the shield goes in the offhand.
Okay.
I very much like using the shield during combat. It's just I don't keep it easily accessible. So a lot of the times when I get snuck attack on by an enderman, I'm just squealing like a little girl trying to fly away. Because
I mean, it works.
Yeah. Of course, now we're finding out the reason I can't kill Enderman isn't because I'm bad at the game. It's because I'm using the wrong stupid sword for an entire year.
Oh, yeah. What was it? A Bane of the Anthropod sword, right?
No, it was a smite sword.
Oh, a smite one. Yeah. I mean, it's almost
which explains why I kill zombies and skeletons super easy, but everything else is like, why is this taking 4 hits?
Yep.
Yeah. 2 pickaxes, Fortune and Silk Touch, because we're this late in the game. If I lose something, it's like, okay, well, that'll take me 5 minutes to remake.
Yeah.
But my hotbar literally calls out sword, pickaxe, axe, but I switch out the axe and the shovel depending on need.
Okay.
Torches, and then it's like blank spot, blank spot, blank spot, food, and then bow.
Oh. I always have like all my tools in my hotbar. So 1, 2, 3, 1 to 5 is like my sword, my tools, and my bow.
Yeah.
6 is empty, or I use it when I'm building. And then 7 to 9 is like pearls, rockets, torch, and food.
Yeah.
So my hotbar is almost always full.
Well, the way I have my hotbar set up, because again, I use a controller and not a mouse, so I can't really scroll through the hotbar as fast as everyone else.
Yeah.
And if I scroll through the hotbar, I physically can't move because I have to take my fingers off the joysticks.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned that earlier this week.
Right, so if I'm on a sword and putting the bow in the last slot, it allows me to click left, so it cycles to the bow. So I can do close range and short range really quick, but also my food's next to the bow. So again, I'm able to do all my defensive stuff relatively easily, while at the same time keeping my tools in kind of an upfront spot. So the other 80% of the time I'm not fighting something, I can have my tools handy. Other than that, I always have at least 10 to 20 crafting tables in my inventory. I don't know why. J-Man's the reason I have so many crafting tables in my inventory.
It started with an accident, didn't it?
Well, I was live streaming and I didn't have a crafting table. And I was like, I can't believe I don't have a crafting table in my inventory. So I had to go back to my base, get wood, craft a crafting table, and then continue on. Because I was working on the island last season on Comicraft. And so all the trees and everything were cut down, mushrooms and stuff. So whatever. And then I come back the next day and J-Man's pranked my base by filling it full of crafting tables. Great. So 30 minutes of chopping crafting tables later, I now have a stack and a half of crafting tables in my inventory. Well, it became super handy because I would just leave crafting tables everywhere. I would build a wall, and the crafting table would be stuck behind the wall, and I'd just leave it there.
You still sort of do that,
and
right?
I still do it. So to have, whenever we leave an area, and I'm like, oh, you want this crafting table? And you're like, yeah, no. So I just break it and keeps it in my inventory. I think I've got 13 crafting tables in my inventory right now. And it's
nice.
Almost the same with ender chests. Because I've lost so many ender chests. Whenever I'm like, hey, do you want that ender chest? You're like, yeah, you're good. And I just take it. And I have 8 ender chests in my inventory too.
Well, also, I'm sort of like you with ender chests, like you are with crafting tables. I spam them around.
Yeah.
I think you pick up a lot of my ender chests.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I've only crafted 1 ender chest this entire season.
Which I don't even notice because I just spam them around so much.
Yeah. But other than that, the bucket of water is an obvious thing. I carry 2 stacks of arrows because I don't have an infinity bow, and I've just basically been too lazy to make one.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Maybe an extra thing of food in the inventory. I usually keep 2 stacks of rockets, just because rockets are the thing I blow through the most. So, yeah. But other than that,
I got all that spare in my ender chest.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have what I call the flight box, which is filled with rockets and ender pearls. But I'm too lazy to put the ender chest down that I might lose and then get the flight box out and get more stuff.
I do that, except, I mean, my rocket, I used the duration 3 ones, so they last a lot longer, I guess.
Yeah, I'm duration 1
for the shorter durations, I use the ender pearls, but I use so much ender pearls. It's ridiculous. I think when I built that cow farm, for anyone who's seen the episode, I went through almost a stack or almost a shulker box full of ender pearls while building that. It's I like those things.
Well, going over all the stuff we normally carry, we both carry a
Mm-hmm.
lot of stuff in our inventory.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the inventory sucks. We need a revamp. What would we do to fix inventory?
Which I feel you have more things to comment about than I do.
Probably.
I'm kind of happy with how the inventory works.
Mm-hmm.
I think a few additions or something could be nice. Like maybe add a few more slots.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the armor slots or something, or the offhand slot. Maybe a quiver so you could put your arrows in there.
Mm-hmm.
A scabbard. I had to Google the word. I thought it was called a sheath, but apparently a scabbard is a better word.
Yeah.
A thing to put your sword in, so maybe you don't have to have your sword on your hotbar all the time.
Yeah, you asked me about that, and then after I remember telling you something, I went, oh no, sheathing a sword is a verb. It's not a noun. It's not an actual thing.
Well, I ended up finding some dictionary page, and they were like, a sheath is some kind of wrapping to protect something,
Mm-hmm.
and then a scabbard is specifically something to hold a sword in. So they're both right, but I figured I'll go with the scabbard one.
Let's go with Carl's suggestion before I start breaking it, because like you said,
That's a good
I do
point.
have a lot to talk. Well, I say I have a lot to talk about.
Mhm.
It's literally like 3 or 4 things that I think would immensely perfect inventory management.
Oh, I'm curious, because I couldn't really think of much. Oh, I thought of a backpack as well. Maybe that could be something.
Mm-hmm.
Although I feel like it would have to give some negative thing. Else you would just... Oh, you craft a backpack and you have a bigger inventory. So it's like a thing to always have.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if it gives some kind of slow, or maybe you lose your elytra or chest slot. I don't know. But go to Carl. Let's hear his suggestion.
Okay. Carl says... suggest to be able to save things in certain places in your inventory, which I kind of agree with. Creative mode has this with what do they call it?
How do they call it?
I don't the tool tables or whatever. Basically, you can say I want this item here every time I put it into my inventory. And I gotta say, because we play a lot of mini games on the server, and a lot of them are, hey, you might die, dump your inventory. And then when you come back to the minigame, now you're just throwing everything into your inventory again, but you have to slowly rearrange it into the slots you like. Like I said, my sword, bow, and food and stuff, all that stuff goes into a certain slot because I have to have it there because I'm bad PvP player.
Well, not for me, it's not necessarily just the PvP, but the way I got my hotbar arranged is because, like, what is it? The 5 to 9... I got it mapped out on my mouse.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just blindly, like, I don't have to think about. I just click a button and I know which item is selected. So if that's changed, I'm getting messed up.
Okay.
So I would love to save it as well.
Yeah, Carl will remind us what it's called probably after he listens to the show. I can't think of it now, but I know exactly what he's talking about, and I 100% agree.
Same here.
That should kind of be a thing. And my inventory improvement thing might help with that.
I'm curious. I want to hear it now.
Okay, I'll start with stuff like you have already mentioned. The quiver.
Okay. Yeah.
So you should be able to expand the armor slots.
Okay.
I would love to see... Well, I shouldn't say I would love to see. My first thought was immediately like you should have 2 armor slots so you can swap through different armor sets really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But that was only because I swapped between a chestplate and an elytra a lot. Instead of seeing a secondary armor slot, I just want to be able to craft my elytra onto my chestplate.
Yeah. Yeah, you have mentioned that a lot.
Yeah. I would rather see that than the secondary armor slot, but it would help with, like, you have your water walking boots. So you'd be able to, like, just hover over it and hit the F key and it switches boots or whatever. Kind of like how it toggles on hand, off hand, or whatever.
Yeah, I'd kind of like that.
So you have that. I would like a quiver to hold your arrows. So a specific spot, every time you add arrows to your inventory, they go to the quiver. And obviously it can only hold a stack of arrows, so any more just goes into your regular inventory. And when you're...
Yeah, but at least, like, you don't have to have an inventory slot taken just because you want a bow.
And to me, the downside of this is, if you're like me and you're too lazy to make an infinity bow, and you run out of arrows in your quiver, it doesn't automatically start firing arrows from your inventory. You have to manually put your arrows into the quiver.
Ooh, I like that.
So it would also work with the tipped arrows and firework arrows for crossbows. It has to be in the quiver to know that's the arrow I want to use.
Yeah, that makes... I like that idea. That pretty much like if you want to shoot an arrow, it's got to be in your quiver.
Mm-hmm. It ignores anything else in your inventory. The next thing would be a specific spot for food. So you keep your food...
Like a food pouch or something.
Right, and I think you should be able to have a special button that's kind of like an emergency, I'm going to eat button.
Oh, so instead of like you have to have the food in your hotbar and then what is it, right click?
Yeah.
You could just have a separate key and that takes something out of your food storage.
Mm-hmm. Now that might be a little too much, especially for like PvP players and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, it would be a lot like the offhand is. But for food specifically, kind of like the quiver is specifically for arrows, you have this new slot that's specifically for food and only food. So if you're PvPing with someone, instead of holding steak in your food spot, you can put enchanted golden apples. Mm-hmm. So it knows to eat the golden apple first without you having to move around in your hotbar and inventory.
I see how people could find that annoying, I guess, because it's you have to think about it a bit more, maybe.
Yeah,
but I like the idea because it does give you an opportunity to something that you kind of always have to have with you, and food's definitely the one thing that you kind of always have to have with you.
Yeah, and
it does. Yeah.
Again, most of this I'm thinking of from a survival player expert, and when I thought of that, I went, "Oh, that would be amazing for survival," and I immediately went, well, PvP players probably... that takes a little bit of skill away from a PvP player being able to manage his hotbar and inventory. So, it could be a little OP in those areas. I don't know. It's like survival. It's 100% awesome. Why is it not in the game? But
it's hard to think for all the aspects, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we don't PvP enough, I guess, to cover all the needs they have.
Right.
I guess the same goes for like adventure or just straight up creative builders.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, and you mentioned Carl's suggestion is in the game in creative.
Yeah.
Why can't we do it in survival or adventure mode or something like that? I would love that.
Yeah, it's I don't really know why they haven't done that. I guess because in creative you can just summon up the items, so if it's missing, it won't struggle because it always has access to the items.
That's true.
And maybe in survival they struggled with like it dealing with items not being there. If I'm making any sense.
Yeah. Well, to me, at that point, you just kind of like highlight the box red.
Yeah, or just do nothing.
Yeah, if it's not there, don't do nothing.
Yeah. I mean, it's up to you to know what's in your inventory.
Yeah. Basically, my final thing is probably the most OP thing.
Okay.
So everyone talks about a backpack and all that stuff.
Yeah.
To me, a backpack would take away an armor slot. That's the only way you can kind of make it work, correct?
Yeah, you can't have a backpack that's always there, because then you would just get another thing that you have to get.
And I felt Mojang's solution for backpacks was shulker boxes, right? I think we can kind of agree with that's what they were thinking about adding in a mobile storage container.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all I want to do is enchant shulker boxes. So, if you get an enchantment of, I don't know what to call it, but basically you could get a glowing shulker box that you can now, when you're in your inventory screen, hover over it, and it shows you everything that's in that shulker box. Now, there's a mod out there already, or a data pack that does this. Exhumaboid uses it a lot on the Hermitcraft server. But not only can you see what's in it, if you hold shift while hovering over it, you can then grab an item from out of the shulker box and place it in your hand or on your hotbar.
Oh, that would be nice. Yeah.
You can't move it into your inventory, but you can take it out of the shulker box and put it on your hotbar.
Mm-hmm.
So now you don't have to even place your shulker box to access it.
Yeah, so that would be sort of an actual backpack.
Yeah, which would automatically expand your inventory immensely. Because now you can just worry about filling your inventory with shulker boxes instead of items that you need to quickly access.
Yeah.
Which
that could work. That's sort of close to what I had in mind with a backpack. Because the idea I had in mind with a backpack is that you have a place, maybe just to put a shulker box, but just so it wouldn't have to be in your inventory. Mm-hmm. Like you could put the shulker box on your back and still have the full inventory. I mean, it's one slot, but every little thing it starts adding up, I guess.
Yeah. And to me, having to enchant a shulker box makes, one, the shulker box still very useful, but two, now you have to play a different aspect of the game to get an enchanted shulker box. So it is overpowered, but it's an in-game item.
Well, you could maybe say something like you could have an enchantment like the glowing one you mentioned, but then you're gonna lose like a few slots in the shulker box. But you could also have an enchantment that's like a huge enchantment, which just makes a bigger shulker box. But you know, you have to place it down, and then there's some other
maybe you have
downsides to it.
I don't know. Let's call the enchantment carrying. Maybe you have carrying 1, 2, 3. Carrying 1 allows you to use 1 row of your shulker box. 2 would allow you to carry 2 rows in a shulker box, and 3 would let you to access the entire shulker box.
Yeah, something like that. I think then that way it could be interesting. Add some some actual mechanics and then like strategy almost to your shulker boxes.
Yeah, I mean, you could have these as the books or even the shulker boxes as loot in the end cities. Give people more reasons already to go explore the end or something, or make an enchanted villager that only lives in the end trade this book.
Maybe that's something for the new what is it, the Nether what are they called, pilgrims, I think.
Yeah. Why can't I think of the name of Minecraft items during a Minecraft podcast? This is bad.
Because it's like something is recording,
piglins.
So brain stops working.
Piglins, that's it.
Yeah.
I agree. Once the mic starts going, my brain just goes, Minecraft.
I remember starting YouTube. It was so bad.
Yeah, that's my inventory fix. A little bit of it's super OP, and some of it to me is really common sense.
It's doing its thing again.
So what?
Yeah, exactly. I said I think it's doing its thing again.
Man, we gotta fix your thing. I don't understand why.
I googled, I wanted to say a bad word. I googled a lot about it. Mm-hmm. I couldn't find anything that even resembles it.
Yeah. So
it's weird.
Guys listening, maybe you have a fix for this. But, hi, Suze. Way to wake up at the end of the podcast.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not internet connection.
Yeah, so what's happening is whenever Bank is running Audacity and talking to me on Discord, I mean, you have the Google document open too, right? And that's like it. You don't have any other...
Yeah, I got Audacity open, I got Discord, but Discord's minimized.
Yeah.
And then I got the document open.
Right, the same thing I do, but for some reason he has connection issues where he just kind of like fades in and out.
Well...
I don't think it's on my end, though.
I don't think it's a connection issue. I think my PC just starts lagging or something because of Audacity. Mm-hmm. Because, Audacity starts behaving differently as well. Which, if it would be connection, there's no reason that Audacity would be affected. So I think it might just that Audacity needs more power. And that takes away from, the Discord connection.
Yeah. More power!
I don't know. But it's weird though. I can run Minecraft twice with 8 gigs of RAM assigned to each. Mm-hmm. No issue. I don't notice anything.
Have you done that whole thing where you go to the Audacity task and you make it the priority?
I never really had to do anything like that for any program, but maybe Audacity requires way more processing power than I'm assuming.
Well, I mean, I had to do it to Minecraft on this brand new PC for some reason.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because
I literally never ever did it for anything.
Right. Well, my old PC that it's literally struggles to run certain stuff never had to do it for Minecraft. It understood that was the priority.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, for some reason, it's like, oh no, Discord's definitely the priority. And it's like,
I mean, I'll look into it. Usually, I don't have that much issues finding.
Yeah, I mean,
well, the issue at least, but this just stumps me. I have no idea.
Yeah, if anyone has the solution to said problem, let us know in the Discord. Yeah. I guess tweet us too.
Yeah.
But
or if you just want to talk about it, like if you're curious what's going on, just message me. I'm okay talking about it.
Yeah,
sure.
But that's a good segment because I think we're kind of finished up. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think we covered it all.
Awesome.
Shall I take us out?
Take us out.
At least we kept the outro normal, so let's see if we
see how bad we mess this up.
Exactly. If you like the show, you can share it with all your friends and on social media. If you listen on Spotify, please follow us. Or if you listen on Apple Podcasts, leave us a review. Doing these things really helps us out, reach more listeners. If you'd like to get into contact with the show, send an email to podcast@rippleeffectsmp.com. Tweet us, or like always, the best choice is to join our Discord if you want to have a chat with us and everyone else. Links will be in the show notes.
Yeah, this show has been brought to you by Bank and myself, but also our digital producer, Carl. He helps make sure the show ends up everywhere it's supposed to, not buried in an inner chest in your base walls. The amazing music you hear in the intro and the outro is created by the one and only Decoy. Both their social media info can be found in the show notes. You guys have been awesome as always. Thank you for getting withered with us. Go drink some milk. Bye.
See ya later.